The night I caught my fiancée sleeping with my best friend was the same night I bought her engagement ring. I still remember how the velvet box felt in my pocket, heavy, warm, full of hope. I was shaking, not from nerves, but from excitement. I had just landed my promotion, bought us a house, and was ready to ask her to build a future together. But fate didn't even wait 24 hours before flipping me on my back and laughing in my face. I walked in early, flowers in one hand, keys in the other, and the first thing I heard was her giggle. Not the kind she gave me when I told dumb jokes. No, the breathy, wild one she only made when her guard was all the way down. It came from the bedroom. And when I opened the door, there they were. Her legs around his waist. My best friend's back to me. Her eyes locked on mine the moment I dropped the roses. She didn't even scream. Just blinked. Then smirked. "Guess you saw it coming eventually," she said. I didn't scream either. I left. And for 2 years, I was broken. Until Elena, my now wife, walked into my life like sunlight through stained glass. She pieced me back together, not knowing she was rebuilding a weapon. And now, 3 months into her pregnancy, the woman who shattered me, is suddenly everywhere. At my workplace. At our gym. She even sent my wife a gift, wrapped in pink, with a note that read, "She'll never love him like I did." She thought she could break me once and keep me broken. She never expected I'd come back stronger, with someone worth protecting. And she damn sure didn't expect the game I was about to play. Her name was Mira. To the world, she was radiant, charming, intelligent, ambitious. To me, she was everything. We met in college, two dreamers lost in a crowd. I was a quiet guy with a stable mind and simple plans. She was the spark that lit up every room. She used to say she wanted stability. Said I was safe. That was the word she used to justify keeping me around, even when she flirted with other guys at parties. I always laughed it off. I believed in her, or maybe I just believed in who I thought she was. She never had a stable home growing up. Parents who screamed, cheated, vanished. So I tried harder. I thought if I could just give her the security she never had, she'd finally settle down. Stay. She said I was bored. I just didn't know it yet. I worked day and night to climb the ladder, sacrificed vacations, missed my brother's wedding, even sold my grandfather's watch to help pay off her tuition debt. And the moment I caught up enough to propose? She was already tangled in sheets with someone else, Liam, my best friend since high school. What destroyed me more than the cheating was the look on her face when I caught them. Cold. Empty. As if I was just a character in her background she'd finally grown bored of. After that, I changed. I left our apartment, blocked her number, and cut off everyone connected to both of them. Liam tried calling once, said he caught feelings and didn't mean to hurt me. I never picked up again. For 2 years, I drifted. I worked. Ate. Slept. Repeated. Numb. Until I met Elena. She wasn't flashy. She didn't play games. She noticed the sadness behind my eyes before I even spoke. Slowly, patiently, she peeled away the layers of pain I didn't even know I was still wearing. She didn't fix me. She stood next to me while I rebuilt myself. I told her everything, about Mira, about Liam, about the ring still collecting dust in my drawer. Elena never pitied me. She just asked, "Do you still love her?" I said no. I thought I meant it. Now? With Elena pregnant, glowing, and humming lullabies while brushing her teeth, Mira suddenly appears again. It started with a coincidental run-in at a bookstore. Then a cryptic comment on my LinkedIn profile. Then messages from unknown numbers. And then, she sent the baby gift. Mira had always been good at timing. She waited until I finally had something to lose before trying to crawl back in. Elena knows who she is. She reads the discomfort behind my eyes when Myra's name pops up, but she doesn't ask questions. She trusts me. And that's exactly why I have to protect her. But this isn't just a jealous ex being petty. Something's off. Myra's words, her timing, the way she stares at Elena like she's trying to replace her reflection in a mirror. This isn't just about a man she lost. It's about something deeper. Something unhinged. And something tells me Mira never really left. I thought Mira was just haunting my past, until I realized she'd never left my present. It started with little things. The baby gift on our doorstep. No return address. But the card? It wasn't just a taunt, it had my childhood nickname on it. One only Elena and my late brother used. Then came the roses delivered to my office. Same bouquet I brought Mira the night I caught her with Liam. Same ribbon. Same scent. She was recreating memories. Rewriting them. At first, I thought it was an obsession. A twisted attempt to insert herself back into my world. But then I opened my email at work, and saw it. A company-wide HR complaint. Against me. For harassment. Filed anonymously. No evidence. No details. Just enough to trigger an investigation. I'd been up for another promotion. Now? It was frozen. The only person who knew about the meeting, the schedule, the team leads involved, was Elena. But I wouldn't, believe she'd sabotage me. I told her what happened that night. Her hand froze mid-stir over the pan of pasta. She turned slowly and said, "Do you think I'd ever hurt you like she did?" I didn't respond. But the silence said everything. 2 days later, Mira texted me from a new number. A photo of a file folder on my desk, taken from inside my office. "You're not the only one she lied to." I raced home. Elena wasn't there. Her phone went straight to voicemail. Her office said she'd left early. My heart thudded in my throat as I scrolled every message, checked every camera app, every corner of our apartment. Nothing. Until I opened her laptop. I hesitated. But the screen was already lit, email open, cursor blinking. It was a thread with a name I hadn't seen in years, Liam. And it was recent. He still doesn't know, does he? No. But he's not stupid. He's starting to suspect. Just keep him calm. I'll handle Mira. You better. This baby changes everything. I felt like someone punched through my chest and ripped my spine out. Elena was talking to Liam? And the baby, my baby, was part of this? I stumbled back, bile rising in my throat. Betrayal didn't just knock, it smashed the door down and danced in the rubble. But I couldn't make sense of it. Why would Elena, who stood by me, loved me, be talking to the man who gutted my past? What did she mean by handle Mira? Were they working together? Or worse? Was Mira the one being played now? I stormed out of the apartment, heart cracking with every step. I needed answers. But not from Elena. I needed to find Mira. Because now, the woman who once ruined me was the only one who could tell me what the hell was going on. I found her outside my old apartment. Sitting on the steps like a memory frozen in time. She looked up. No mascara, no drama. Just tired eyes. "I told you," she said quietly, "you're not the only one she lied to." "What's going on?" I demanded. "Why are you contacting Elena? Why are you?" "She contacted me," Mira cut in. 6 months ago. Said she wanted to know everything about you. Said she was writing a book on betrayal. But it wasn't a book. My stomach sank. She asked about the night you caught me and Liam. About your triggers. Your breakdown. She knew things no one outside the two of us should know. And then she offered me money. For what? Mira looked away. To pretend I wanted you back. I stood in shock. You're lying. I wish I was, she whispered. But I didn't do it for the money. I did it because I thought she was trying to see if you'd cheat. A test. But it turned out, she wasn't testing you. She was testing how far I'd go. She used us. Me, Liam, you. And now she's pregnant, and she doesn't want anyone threatening that picture-perfect life she's built. Silence hung between us. Then she dropped the final bombshell. She was already seeing Liam, before she met you. I drove for hours that night. Not home. Not to Elena. Not even to Liam. I drove without thinking, because thinking would have made me crash the damn car. My world, what little of it I had left, was bending under pressure I couldn't process. Myra's confession rang in my head like gunshots. She was already seeing Liam before she met you. Elena hadn't just entered my life by coincidence. She was placed. Designed. Like a cure that was meant to poison. I parked near an abandoned overlook we used to visit in college. Wind whipping through my window, thoughts blurring into questions with no answers. Was the baby even mine? Was I just another pawn? And if so, why? Why would a woman like Elena, gentle, steady, and loving, fake all that? Unless it wasn't fake. Unless something more twisted was buried under kindness. The next morning, I returned to our apartment. She was there. In the kitchen. Acting like nothing had changed. Humming to herself, pouring orange juice, dressed in my college hoodie like she always did when she wanted to make me feel at ease. I stood in the doorway, watching her. Studying her. And I asked, "Who's the father?" She froze. Only for a split second, but I caught it. The pause. The calculation. Like a chess player spotting the board tilting. What? The baby. Is it mine? Her face twisted, not in guilt. In insult. How dare you, she whispered, stepping toward me. After everything we've been through? After how much I've loved you? You think I'd carry someone else's child and lie to you? I stared at her. You've been messaging Liam. She blinked again. Too fast. You went through my laptop. Don't flip this. Answer me. She hesitated, then took a deep breath. Yes. I spoke to Liam. Once. He reached out. He said Mira was trying to get close to you again. He warned me. I didn't want to stress you, so I didn't tell you. I thought I could handle it. She said you paid her to stage all this. That you're playing both of us. Elena's lip trembled, genuinely. Or maybe perfectly. She's manipulating you. Again. Just like before. Can't you see that? I didn't respond. I walked past her and into the bedroom. I pulled open her side drawer. The phone was there. The second one. She'd always been tech-savvy, had a backup for work. But I'd never checked it. Never needed to. Until now. It was locked. Elena, I called, holding it up. She stared at me, something in her expression snapped. Her face dropped. The performance drained. She didn't even try to lie. You weren't supposed to find that. I unlocked it with her fingerprint while she stood frozen. The messages were there. To Liam. To Mira. And to someone else, someone saved only as D. I opened the chat. D, he suspects. Elena, starting to. But he's emotional. Easier to control when he's braking. D. Accelerate. Pregnancy should keep him tied down. Mira needs to press harder. Elena, already set. She'll trigger him. The moment he snaps, we have reason to hospitalize. Same as trial 3. I nearly dropped the phone. Trial 3? Hospitalize? Elena, I whispered. What is this? She looked like a wall stripped of paint. Cold. Empty. I didn't want you to find out this way, she said flatly. Then how? While I was strapped to a hospital bed? She walked slowly toward me. Not to comfort. To control. It was a study, she said. Emotional conditioning under post-trauma stimuli. You were selected because of your past, your vulnerability. Your reaction to Myra's betrayal. The way you rebuild under pressure. My stomach turned. You were experimenting on me? You were healing. Her voice never wavered. Every decision I made, every moment I stood beside you, was part of a larger dataset. But don't twist it. I did fall for you. That wasn't the plan. That's why I wanted out. I staggered back. You're insane. I'm pregnant. She touched her belly. I wanted the baby. Not for data. For us. I stared at her, the weight of every moment between us crashing down like rubble from a collapsed lie. Who's D? I whispered. Elena looked away. That was all I needed. I left again, but this time with a plan. I didn't just want answers. I wanted to burn the machine they built. Over the next few days, I did what she never expected, I played the role again. The hurt man. The confused lover. The one desperate to believe. She relaxed. Stopped checking her laptop password. Let her guard down. I copied everything. Emails. Call logs. Data logs. Names. Contacts. And something else, a folder labeled Trial 1 to 4, Control Subjects. There were more people like me. Victims. Test cases. Elena wasn't a partner in this. She was a handler. Trained to nurture, manipulate, and observe. She was recruited. And Liam? He wasn't just a cheater. He was the recruiter. The final blow came from Mira. She wasn't lying. She'd turned on them weeks ago, realized Elena was setting her up too. They'd convinced her she could fix what she broke with me. But once she saw the other subjects, she snapped. She started documenting, tracking, and leaking files. I met with her again. Face to face. And this time, we were allies. Enemies of the same machine. She looked at me across the cafe and whispered, "You ready to expose them?" I nodded once. Because revenge wasn't just about breaking Elena. It was about exposing everything. They studied my trauma. Now I'm weaponizing it. For weeks, I played the long game, just like they did. Elena thought she still had control. I smiled when she smiled. I caressed her belly. I listened as she rambled about baby names, knowing each word was a lie balancing on a needlepoint. I buried my rage under layers of patience. She thought I was slipping back under her spell. That was her first mistake. I reconnected with Mira. She wasn't proud of what she did, but she wanted out. She gave me names, contact logs, and 2 burner phones. One belonged to Liam, the other to D. D was Dr. Diana Caldwell, a behavioral psychologist from a non-profit trauma institute that didn't officially exist. Mira had followed one of the researchers home once, took photos of the facility, a modern building masked as a wellness retreat. It was all under the umbrella of a private biotech firm, Virion Dynamics. Their goal? To engineer trauma-resistant behavior in high-stakes individuals, soldiers, agents, CEOs. People like me were perfect, emotionally wounded, intellectually stable, desperate for connection. Elena wasn't just a participant. She was the lead field operative on Trial 4. And the pregnancy? It was real. But not organic. In one file Mira decrypted, I found notes on empathy anchoring through paternal hormonal priming. Translation? They got her pregnant on purpose. With my child. Not just to bind me. But to measure how fatherhood could alter revenge impulses. This wasn't just emotional abuse. It was bioethical warfare. I needed proof. More than just messages or photos. I needed them to say it. Admit it. And the only way to do that? Play the perfect patient one last time. I installed cameras in our apartment. Hidden mics in her jewelry box. I planted a GPS tracker in her car, tied to a secure server Mira helped set up. Then I leaked bait. An email to Elena, fake, untraceable, mentioning legal risks and recordings. I watched her panic in real time. That night, she called Liam. And Liam called Diana. And Diana booked a flight. They were coming to clean up. Perfect. I contacted a friend, Mark, a reporter I hadn't seen since college. He owed me a favor after I saved his job during a plagiarism accusation. I gave him everything, names, files, locations. He didn't blink. This is bigger than a scandal, he said. This is global level. I don't need global, I replied. I need ruin. We agreed on a drop date, 1 week. Everything had to unfold before then. All cards on the table. Elena knew something was off. She started locking drawers, hiding her phone. Her smiles became strained. Her affection is more calculated. But I kept playing dumb. Until she finally said the words I'd been waiting for. We need to go away, she said, rubbing her stomach. Just for a while. Somewhere remote. Somewhere quiet. Just us. Start over. Translation? They were going to vanish me. I nodded. Smiled. Kissed her forehead. We packed that weekend. She booked the place, a cabin miles away from the city. No cell signal. No neighbors. Just trees, wind, and silence. Mira followed us in a second car. She stayed back, watching, recording. The first night was quiet. Too quiet. She cooked. We laughed. She laid in my arms and whispered, "You'll always be mine." It almost made me forget. Almost. But then, the second night came. It was past midnight. A car pulled up. Doors slammed. Whispered voices. Elena told me to stay in bed. She stepped outside. I slipped to the window, camera in hand. Liam was there. So was Diana. And a fourth man, unknown. They were arguing. She's not breaking, Elena hissed. He's calm. Too calm. He's hiding something. He knows, Diana snapped. Abort the cycle. Stage a psychotic break. We'll get custody through the courts. He's already unstable by record. I didn't feel rage anymore. I felt focused. I flipped the switch. Inside our cabin, every hidden mic, every camera, transmitting live to Mark's team. They were watching everything. And it only got better. Because Mira had one more surprise. She pulled up in the driveway. Bright headlights cutting through the trees like justice. Elena turned, face pale. "Mira," she shouted. "What are you?" Mira raised her phone. Smile. The man with Diana, an enforcer, no doubt, moved forward. That's when the real chaos hit. Sirens. Multiple vehicles. Flashing lights. FBI. Mark had passed the files to federal investigators once he confirmed the real-time recording of Diana's confession. Turns out, Virion Dynamics had already been under quiet investigation for experimental human testing without consent. They just needed a smoking gun. And I gave them a firestorm. Elena was arrested. Not quietly. She screamed my name as they cuffed her. Promised she loved me. Promised the baby was real. That everything was a lie except her feelings. I didn't respond. Liam tried to run. Didn't make it 10 feet before he was tackled. Diana went silent. Didn't even blink when they read her rights. A week later, Mark's story dropped. Headline: The Love Lab, inside a secret experiment that weaponized heartbreak. It went viral. Millions of views. National coverage. Protests. The Institute? Shut down. Assets frozen. Multiple lawsuits filed. And me? I became the face of survival. They tried to study trauma. But I studied them. But what about the baby? She's real. Healthy. DNA confirmed, mine. Elena, from prison, signed away parental rights under pressure from federal investigators. I named my daughter Hope. Because that's what I clung to when everything felt like ruin. And as for Mira? We don't pretend to be something we're not. But we're close. Healing in parallel. Co-parents in grief. Two broken people who refuse to be erased. Some people heal by forgetting. I healed by remembering everything. Every manipulated word. Every stolen kiss. Every time I doubted my own mind because someone was pulling the strings behind it. They wanted me to snap. Instead, I stood. And now? Elena sits behind bars, alone, forgotten, replaced by the very man she thought she could puppet forever. Liam lost his freedom and his reputation. No more charming smiles. No more second chances. Diana Caldwell? Facing federal charges. Her organization? Publicly dismantled. The non-profit she hid behind? Nothing more than an acronym on a burned server now. The files we exposed weren't just about me. There were others, Trial 1 through Trial 4. People who thought their pain was personal, when really, it was programmed. They came forward. One by one. And for the first time, they weren't ignored. I still have nightmares sometimes. Not about Elena's betrayal. But about how close I came to trusting her with everything. Including the child now sleeping in the next room, wrapped in a blanket stitched with the name Hope. She'll never know the depth of the darkness she came from. She'll only know the man who crawled out of it for her. Mira and I, we're not in love. Not like before. But there's a kind of loyalty that only comes from mutual ruin. She visits often. Helps with hope. And sometimes, when the night is quiet and we're both too tired to pretend, we sit in silence, and understand each other without saying a word. She lost herself in the game. I nearly lost my life. But in the end, we both gained something unexpected. Redemption. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. They're still out there. Virion Dynamics was just one head of a hydra. The techniques they used, emotional priming, conditional trauma, synthetic bonding, those didn't start with Elena. And they won't end with her. Just last week, Mira got a message from an anonymous account. You were the failed variable. Trial 5 starts soon. This time, no attachments. They still think we're pawns. They still think we'll stay quiet. They still think we're broken. Let them think that. Because this time, We're H.